Access code accepted. There are 5 participants in this conference. All callers are muted and they can unmute themselves.
In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful, the Truthful, and the Most Just. May Allah's Calamities. We thank Allah that He has allowed us to meet with you again for congregational prayer service, and to be able to remind you of the keeping up of prayer and the importance of it. So I don't think that those who have been around for years need me to remind them. I do so for those who are steadily streaming in that you don't know about. Those who have kept up prayer, if after years you've been with me and you still need reminding to keep up prayer, it's because you haven't been praying. And my reminder has been falling on deaf ears. And so that's one of the reasons why people that have been around for years wind up back out there. Because, they did not keep up prayer. Do you understand? The only thing that keeps us from the indecencies that are around us is the mind that Allah has been sharing with us. And if you, I tell you what, this bottle, if most people looked at it, it had water in it. And they say it's, I don't know if you can see that yet. Let's see here. Now when I shake it, you can, if you got pretty decent eyes. How much water? How much is in it? See? But it's not half full. It's still full. It's just half of what's in it is water. Air is at the other half. Whenever one thing moves out, something else replaces it. You are surrounded by matter. There's no such thing as an empty bottle or empty. Everything is full of something. If you want to stay full of light, you had better remember Allah. And the less you remember Allah, you be like this bottle here, where it used to be full of water. Now it's got part water in it and something else. So we take truth and we hurl it. We speak forcefully against falsehood. So it flushes it out of the brain and replaces it. Of course, all day, every day, you spend your time thinking over the wrong things and you welcoming it back in. Not my fault. It's your fault. I told you all what to do about all of that kind of stuff. You know, I'm never giving this world and its design victory over me. That ain't gonna happen. I gained the victory over this world a long time ago. Ain't nothing you gonna say or do that's gonna make me turn around and come back to that world. Nothing. And that's why Allah chose me, because my mind was made up. And except you have a made up mind, like I told you, whatever can turn you around, Allah gonna know it. Now you think this is some kind of game? This ain't no game. Can you imagine what? Think of all of the things you could imagine that's good and great. Allah said what He have prepared for the believers, they can't even imagine. Eyes have not seen, ears have not heard, neither has entered into the hearts of men to conceive. You couldn't even conceive the thought of what Allah have in store for those that love Him. So, to whom much is given, or to whom much shall be given, much shall be required. Now, that's just the way it is. In this world, you shall have tribulation. That's written. There's but. Be of good. Where's that at? I'm going to start at the 16th chapter of John. It says in the 16th verse, a little while and you shall not see me. And again, a little while and you shall see me. Because I go to the Father. Then it says in the 19th verse, now Jesus knew that they were desirous to ask him and said unto them, do you inquire among yourselves of that I said a little while and you shall not see me? And again, a little while and you shall see me? Verily, verily, I say unto you that you shall weep and lament, but the world shall rejoice. And you shall be sorrowful, but your sorrow shall be turned into joy. A woman, when she is in travail, hath sorrow, because her hour is come. But as soon as she is delivered of the child, she remembereth no more the anguish for joy that a man is born into the world. All the angels of heaven rejoice at the converting of one mind. Like a child, to convert a person from wickedness to righteousness, it's like giving birth to a baby. It's hard. But once you are delivered, once that mind is delivered and received, the weeping is over. There's time for rejoicing. And it's a rejoicing that never ends. It's like every day I wake up with the mind that was put in me. I'm rejoicing. That's why I played that song. And live rejoicing. Oh, happy day. Yeah, well, that's the truth. That actually happened for me. The sinful mind, the mind that desired to do sinful things, was washed out of me. That's why I can be here. You notice, you know where to find me all the time. I'm either here or I'm up there at that theater for now. And I rejoice to be able to do that. I'm not desiring to be no place else, but on my post. That is my life now. My life and my death is all for Allah. You see? And that's where peace lies. The greatest heaven that you enter into on believing is peace of mind and contentment with being on your post. That's that. Everything else is the icing. It ain't the cake. Now, it's only so much icing you can lick before you get sick of this. Too sweet. And it's just, I want something that I can sink my teeth into. Do you understand? I mean, it's that's just the way it is. You know, you have to live long. It's just like children. They think that toys is everything. You know, eventually they're gonna grow if they live. They're gonna grow to realize toys ain't nothing. Do you understand? And that's just the way it is with everything else. The things that we hold most valuable are just things that blind us to the reality of God. But as we mature, our minds, like the sun, burns those things away until we see the reality of God and how everything else was the illusions. You see? So, you know, the greatest joy that one can have is knowing the answers to all of the questions that you may have. In other words, learning. That is what the mind is. Why did you make the devil? Wanted to learn. That's what the messenger told you. He said, we don't go after the product, we go after his maker. And we ask him, why did you make an enemy for us? And he said, because he was in you and you didn't know he was in you. So I brought him out of you and made a form for him. And there he is. Now study him and master him. And in so doing, you are learning to master yourself and everything that's in you. Do you understand? You see, I'm mastering them. You know, when he come in acting a fool, I don't act no fool with him no more. I recognize that's just something I got to learn to master in myself. Huh? Everybody likes people to praise them. Don't too many people like people to uh, criticize them. Huh? But honor and dishonor actually are both imposters. Like the man said, success and failure. When you can treat those two imposters both the same, in other words, when neither one of them makes you, shakes you up, or gives you any emotional outbursts, well, then you're becoming a man because you are staying in control. The best way to be in control of things is to control yourself. As you control yourself, things have no control over you because you didn't relinquish control of yourself. Do you understand? You know, desire is a wonderful thing as long as you can control your desire. But when you have no control over your desires, then your desires have control over you. And that's why people get wealthy and everything they see, they desire, they go get it. And they keep going and going and going and going and going. And they don't realize they're not controlling those desires. Those desires are controlling them. Huh? You notice a child can be doing fine. They see another child with something and they say, "Oh, I want that." They can't be happy to see that child with it and say, "I wasn't thinking about that. I'm satisfied." When they ain't never satisfied. They just think they are until they see something. Do you understand? And so this is what Allah is uh, revealing now. How in the world are you going to control this vast universe, which is infinite, if you haven't mastered yourself? So my work is to master myself and to help you and guide you into the mastery by hooking you into the body and putting the right head on your shoulder. As the book says, the head of every man is Christ. And the head of Christ is God. So I shall dwell among them and shall be in them. That's what the book teaches you. How do you get inside of people? They sit down and let you put yourself inside of them by teaching them. Well, how are you going to teach them? First thing you got to do is shut their mouth and make them pay attention. Who's been able to do that? You can't change the world if you can't get the world's attention. And when you see them things that's been going on that they ain't told you about, now you see why they don't shut their mouth at me. I told you the bailiffs deal with you. I ain't got to deal with you. They'll deal with you. You'll shut up after a while. when you see a mountain of mud coming knocking over your house, when you see a wall of water coming after you, when you see tornadoes waltzing through your community, I guarantee you shut your mouth. You remember when all them people was a few years back, people talking crazy to me? Let me show you something. I didn't finish showing you this last night. I want you to see what was happening when they was talking crazy to me. Let me see here. Now this was shown in 2015, but it was a lot of things going on. You know, that's why they give you. I just recorded this so that you would understand that I told you I just look like I'm by myself. How many of y'all saw Lost in Space, the new version, where the doctor had turned into a creature, had turned into the devil, a wicked thing. But that wicked thing had protected that young boy for a reason he had wanted. But to show you, God can use the devil to protect. He said he give his angels charge over who? You ain't forgot that the devil is the angel of the bottomless pit, right? Wilt thou place in it such as make mischief in it and shed blood in it, and then put us under him? That's all right. I know what you know not. Huh? My brother Sonny, he taught me, because, Sonny could fight, He said, whenever somebody bigger than you, he said, you got to get low on them. That way the hit swing at you, they got to be off balance. See? And he can't plant his feet on you then. Somebody bigger than you, humble yourself. So that you can learn. Boasters, which is what the devil is, he's a boaster. He likes to boast. And if you humble yourself, he'll teach you whatever because he wants you to look up to him. He'll teach you everything. They taught me everything. I mean, just come out and say it right in front of you when you humble. He wasn't scared to talk in front of no slave. He even called himself the devil in front of the slave. Well, speak of the devil, John. Boy, go down and get John a cup of coffee. Well, he first called John the devil. So, people say all kinds of things in front of children. Yes. So I've learned that if God let me be in a situation, learn something from it. And that's what all of you are doing, no matter where you are in that world. You learning something, which will help you to help me build a better world. When you find the faults, remember those faults. And when you think of a better way of doing a thing, then remember, when it's our turn, we will do it the better way. Is that right? So all praises due to Allah. So, and watch this. This was what's happening while they was cussing me out.
Some 2,500 miles away, at a glacier in western Greenland, a film crew captures a piece of frozen history. A mountainous chunk of ice breaks off from the Ilulissat Glacier and crashes into the sea.
It almost feels alive with the cracking and creaking of all the stresses of the glacier itself.
I didn't speak on the fact that he said it all feels alive. It is alive. How you think Allah orders things to be done if those things are not alive? Be ye iron or some other creature that is hardest to be raised. How can you think water is dead and you are 3/4 water yourself? When you get an absence, if too much water becomes absent in your body, you die. You can die of dehydration. You talking about it almost feels like it is alive. And the reserves are being called out. Why? Because they're scheming, plotting against the Lord and his anointed, against the Son of Man and his Christ. Just listen.
Just an amazing piece of glacier that has broken off and worked its way down into these waters, like an avalanche that is coming down into the sea.
Picture Lower Manhattan just crumbling right in front of your eyes, except some of these glaciers are 2 to 3 times the thickest buildings in Lower Manhattan. A staggering amount of ice, 3 miles long and a mile wide, fractures off the glacier. A massive swath, gone. Glaciers all over the planet are shrinking at an alarming rate, and this is, really worrying because it just shows how quickly this ice is melting and falling away. Greenland is losing about 142 billion tons of ice per year, an astonishing rate. In theory, that glacier should be about at the same point every December. It's not now. This is an example of the real world right now impacts of climate change.
They calling it climate change when it's actually the judgment of the world. The only way to reverse this stuff is to submit to me. If you won't submit, then you're going to be swept away. That's the bottom line. But just a moment. They're going to tell you the whole rest of the story too.
Alaska's Peterson Glacier has retreated approximately 1 mile in over 100 years. These before and after photographs were taken at the same time of year over the past century by U.S. Geological Survey photographers.
See all that land there that was kept preserved? The meek shall inherit the earth. Things that used to look one way ain't gonna look that way. It's gonna be a new heaven and a new earth. Just keep looking.
When it comes to big weather forces, the Great Plains see their share. Like the mightiest and most dangerous of all thunderstorms, the classic anvil-shaped monsters known as supercells. It's like, you want to look at cool architecture? You have to go to Europe. Just go to the U.S. plains and check out like the supercell structures.
I have put my whole career into studying the atmosphere. So whenever something significant happens weather-wise, I want to see it firsthand. I want to feel it.
To see lightning like this, just rapid fire lightning, there's nothing more spectacular. It's like just a light show, fireworks.
The power, the beauty, the tranquility, the destruction, it's all the environment. And each piece is kind of the Earth's balancing act. This is awesome. I love video like this. It really just shows how amazingly wonderful this planet really is. That's serious right there, boys. In almost every corner of the Earth. Every moment of every day. Oh my God. Cameras are rolling on the most heart-stopping.
Holy
Good, Rich.
What did they say? Almost every spot on the globe, cameras are doing what? So that I could use it to teach you and give you warning. This tool called internet is that great net that the book talks about, that drew in of every kind. And when they brought it to shore, they put the good in vessels and cast the bad away. So, don't say that I didn't warn you. You remember I told you all that I took you to the 53rd, around the 53rd chapter of Isaiah, where it says, in all of your afflictions, I was afflicted. That's why you were warned. Just like I told you, when you go outside, look at what the sun's showing you. Don't look up at the sun. Didn't I tell you that? Didn't I warn you? What did I tell you was going to happen to you? What happens when you go stare at the sun? You go blind, don't you? Which means after you get through staring at the sun, you can't see what the sun was showing you. The very nature of your eye makes you bow to the sun. When you try to look at it the first time, you see it's too bright for you. Is that right? How many people you done seen come in here and call themselves judging me and got judged? Huh? How do you expect a surgeon to operate on you and don't get dirty. But he started off very clean before he got in there with you. I didn't hear you.
Yes, sir.
Then after he got in there with you and got some of your blood on him, but was saving your life, what difference do it make how much of your blood he got on? He know how to get that blood off. Did you know how to perform that surgery on yourself? Allah knew where he was putting me after he made me perfect and put me back in the middle of all these imperfect people. He knew exactly where he was putting me. And when I was asked, are you going back with him? My response was what a Muslim is supposed to say: if that's where I belong, if that's where Allah wants me. Not, I'm holy now, I don't want to be back here with these crazy folk. The Bible is holy and the Holy Quran is holy. Where it's been? In the hands of what kind of people? Sinful and wicked people. Well, the word has now been made flesh, and where am I at in the middle of? The same place. But only you can't do me like you did the Bible. You notice when people try to add to what I said that's not what I said. There won't be no revising on me. But I had to get cussed out, and the messenger said, what do he want with the people that would cuss him out to his face? Huh? That's what he asked you. I know a lot of them had to be thinking about it when I played it. Huh? Okay.
Awe-inspiring. Weather out there, you don't really know how to react. That too. So we wind up mesmerized. You can't pull away.
This is reality TV.
You think you know your weather? Our team breaks down the science behind the storm.
You can see the water flowing into the vortex.
Inside the most shocking viral videos that will blow your mind. Oh my gosh. Even with cutting-edge technology, the imposing force of nature can't always be forecast. Oh my! And when it strikes, it can change landscapes and lives in an instant. And often without warning. Oh my!
And speaking of stuff, look, you can see it rotate.
March 2nd, 2012. A powerful twister bears down on Henryville, Indiana.
March 2nd when? That's when y'all was cussing and going on at me. Huh? Well, that was Allah's response to you. Just look.
This tornado was actually strengthening as it entered the town, and winds of about 170 miles an hour. So solid EF4. We're talking really serious business.
Right in its path is the town's only school for more than 1,000 children. The staff makes a life-saving decision to dismiss the students early. But as the tornado moves closer, the last buses to leave turn back. A driver rushes the children into the building. It's their best chance for survival.
Everybody stay together.
Just a few minutes later, the tornado hits. Security cameras around the school capture every angle of the violent impact. Schools are strong. It's steel. It's brick. And to see it just torn apart in seconds, you know that is a very serious tornado. Nearly 80 students and staff are inside. the worst. And then boom. Literally as soon as the power goes out.
I don't care how strong you think your brick and steel and stuff is. You know why it's easy for tornadoes to tear it up? Because even them bricks and stuff got air in them. And as that air is sucked into the tornado, that space in that brick collapses. And that steel collapses. And yonder it goes. And like I told you, everything is a creature. When Allah says be gone, it's gone. This is something that you say, but you didn't really believe it, even though you are living proof of it. Mind is over matter. Now, a mind that has been here for trillions of years and have taken up residence in its own temple, which happens to be black man. You think that mind been around here all this time and they learned how to protect its temple? So just watch what they see, how they showing you before and afters. That's just one tornado.
The tornado rips across. It's like a bomb go off. A teacher takes shelter in an interior hallway. So you see him and he ducks down and he's holding his ears. Pressure dropped dramatically. He's putting stress on the eardrum. That's got to be as scary a thing as you'll ever go through. Across the building.
What happens when the pressure drops? What's really going on? The air is being sucked out. And certainly it hurt the ears. You better put maybe mess you all up. That thing is spinning, sucking in air from everywhere. And it's only a matter of time before the building just come apart.
The boys' gymnasium is ripped open. If the wind's pushed in one of the walls, then the air can get in underneath the roof and can just push up and blow off the roof.
You can see all that airborne debris. There's so much room for it to fly around. Get in those small interior hallways and get low, and that's much better than these big open rooms like a gymnasium, which are basically death traps.
In less than 20 short seconds, the school is destroyed. But incredibly, students and staff managed to ride out the storm in a front office, and no one is injured. The bus that the students fled had a security camera on board, and it captured the terrifying moments when the tornado hit. Picking up the bus and smashing it into a restaurant across the street. It was so mangled. All the windows were sucked out.
Who guided them to that room where they would be safe? Do they say that? They ain't got sense enough to realize that somebody put the thought of what room to go to in your head. If Allah want to get you, you ain't got no safety. You think them little underground, can save you from a tornado if Allah want to get you? He can pull you up, snatch you up out of there. There ain't no safe place from Allah, but with him. Just watch this.
Entire engine compartment was pulled away. The town of Henryville and the surrounding areas are devastated by the violent storm. It takes the lives of 11 people and destroys hundreds of homes. In April 2011, the city of Tuscaloosa, Alabama is slammed by a twister, packing 190-mile-an-hour winds. This was a destructive EF4 bordering EF5 tornado, and you can see that classic kind of triangle shape with a real low cloud base. Once you come out around here, all out awful.
You can't even fathom how strong that is. And the cloud formations developing around the large tornado itself are really just incredible.
There's so much debris there. In another part of the city, two men driving on the interstate record video of the same tornado up close. Move, Chandler. This is extreme danger. You should never be in a car this close to a storm. Chandler, go the back. I'm not kidding. It's crossing the interstate right where we were. When you see debris fly like this, you know something has gone horribly wrong. Oh my. This tornado went right over a structure and it just exploded. And those pieces become projectiles. If you are hit by, let's say, a 2x4, that thing is shot out of a tornado like a gun. It can go through the door of your car, not even through the window. I can't even recognize the split. The landscape is completely changed. What was houses and buildings and landmarks and that fence you always pass on the way home, gone. It looks like a different world. The twister is part of a massive 4-day-long outbreak with nearly 350 touching down in 21 states.
Did you hear that? This was while you was cussing me out and talking crazy to me. In 24 hours, 300 and some of them. That's another place where all that melting ice, that water, that's what it was for. So we could make tornadoes to come get you. It's time that you understand who's really in charge of this planet. We gave you dominion over the earth. We taking it back. That's why I told you, ain't no sense. You got excited over Black Panther. I ain't get excited over that. I already know everything you got, we gave to you. We gave you dominion over ourselves. To show the world that you can't complain. We put ourselves under this devil too. And we suffered the brunt of his evil. He perfected his evil on us. When Allah said, let there be light, what happened? Let there be a firmament in the midst of the water and let it divide the waters from the waters. And what happened? He made the firmament because he's the doer of what he intends. He said, but the Lord is in his holy temple. Let all the earth do what? You quiet now, ain't you? I told you I was sick of you disrespecting me. Iron wear out, man. We put up with you for 40 days and 40 nights. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad was teaching 43 years. Now I've been teaching 43 years. That's 86 all over the world. I ain't tried to force you to do nothing. When you came in here and called in here and went online to come in and in here, you did that on your own. Then if you didn't like what you was hearing, all you had to do was leave. Cuss me out for what? In front of my babies. You didn't care what kind of language you use. This was Allah's answer for you.
Buildings and landmarks and that fence you always pass on the way home, gone. It looks like a different world. The Twister is part of a massive 4-day-long outbreak with nearly 350 touching down in 21 states. This was such a rare event. It was as perfect a dance as you could do with the atmosphere to create tornadoes. The Tuscaloosa tornado is just one of more.
We can whoop up thousands of tornadoes. Can't you make thousands of airplanes? Ain't that what you got? Thousands of fighter jets? What makes you think that we can't do the same with matter? We didn't give up control of the air. We just gave you control over the fowl of the air. We didn't give up control of the sea. We gave you control of the fish of the sea. We ain't crazy. That's to make sure that if you oversport yourself, we gave it to you and we can take it back. That's what you do. You give us driving privileges. And when we abuse them privileges, you revoke those privileges. Is that right? So now I don't have to listen to you cussing and swearing at me no more. And if you're stupid enough to come do it again, we can do that again. Only next time, maybe we won't tell you where to go to protect yourself. Let you stand there in a state of confusion. You don't even have sense enough to realize that them tornadoes didn't have to be whipped up in time for you to see them coming. Could have dropped it right down on that school. Okay? So, you know, I'm trying my best to reach you and make you understand the importance of letting this word, these books, let me teach you what's in these books and get it in your head so that it will save your life. Like it's doing mine. I hope you let me do it. The book didn't say, force this mind in you. It said, let this mind be in you. Huh? That was also in Christ. Why? Because that's the only way Christ can be your head. Your parent can't be your parent if they don't rear you and put their knowledge and put their instructions in your head. And then when you go out, wherever you go, they right there with you. By way of what? By way of remembrance of their instructions. Is that right? The Holy Scriptures was meant to be inside of us. How do you know that? They are instruction in righteousness. Instructions don't do you no good if they don't get inside of you. I didn't hear you. Okay. Guard your faith. I said, guard your faith. The longer you are with me, the more dangerous to your faith if you're not careful. You know why most planes crash? Pilot error. When you get so familiar with something that you are willing to cut corners, that you are willing to, you can relax. You headed for a fall. As I told you, whenever I stand up to speak, I still get a little nervous. Yes, and that's good. Makes me careful about what I say. Makes me remember that, you can't, just because people trust everything you say, don't mean you get up there and say things that you ain't got no proof of. Huh? See, so Allah give me what to say. And I wait on him to give me what to say so that I can help you. Is it hot in here? Well, I'm going to let you go in a minute. So I want you to remember that Allah has shown who he's with. And he's steady showing you he's with me. And if you with us, then we're with you. Do you understand? This is one friend you can't lose. If you're my friend, I'm your friend. Am I clear? If the whole world turn against you, I ain't gonna turn against you. And remember now, the whole world was against me. Who won? We are here to be attacked by the world and win over. Huh? You ain't heard nobody win no argument against me. And if you say you won one against me, come on back in and win it again. See, that's the way you put a stop to liars. Out there lying, talking about they believe this person or that person won against me. You know, you go look at how some of them people talk with other people, and when they got in front of me, it's easy to see who won. Huh? And I tell you another way it's easy to see who won. Tell them that, hey, I want you to come back in there with that man called Son of Man again. I'm not interested in there. I'm not interested in going in there with him. Why? You don't have to put it on me twice. So all praise is due to Allah. So I'm just thankful that now I don't have nobody heckling. Don't have to put up with hecklers no more. So let us stand and turn to the west. Hut, chant, hut. Original salute. Ready, front. Prayer position. Allah is the greatest. Allah is the greatest. Allah is the greatest. Allah is the greatest. And I bear witness that I know of none who deserves to be served or worshipped beside thee. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful, all holy praise is due and be to thee, O Allah, the Lord of the worlds. The Beneficent, the Most Merciful Master of the Day of Requital. Thee do we serve, and thee do we beseech for help. O Allah, please continue to guide us and keep us on the right path and way. The straight path and way of thee and those upon whom thou hast bestowed thy favors. Not the crooked paths and ways of Satan and those upon whom thy wrath is or will be brought down, nor the foolish paths and ways of those who go astray or who are led astray even after they've heard and been given the true understanding of thy holy word and teachings. Truly, I have again turned myself to thee, O Allah, striving to be totally upright, to thee who originated the heavens and the earth. And I am not of the polytheists. Truly my prayers, my sacrifices, my life and my death are all for thee, O Allah, the Lord of the worlds. No associate hast thou, and this am I commanded, and I am of those who submit. O Allah, thou art the King. I know of no God but thee. Thou art my Lord, and I am thy servant. I have been greatly unjust to myself, and I confess my faults and weaknesses. So please grant me and my true followers and family continuous protection against all of our faults and weaknesses. For none grants protection against faults and weaknesses but thee. And guide us to and instill within us the best of moral character and thoughts. For none can guide us to and instill within us the best of moral character and thoughts but thee. And turn us away from and remove from us the evil and indecent moral character and thoughts. For none can turn us away from and remove from us the evil and indecent moral character and thoughts but thee. And O Allah, please continue to guide us among those whom thou hast and wilt guide aright, and preserve and perfect us among those whom thou hast and wilt preserve and perfect, and befriend us among those whom thou hast and wilt befriend, and bless us in whatsoever thou dost grant to us, and deliver us from the evils of what thou hast judged. For surely thou judgest, and there is none that can judge against thee. And surely he whom thou befriendest is not disgraced. And our Father Allah, in heaven praised is and be thy holy and righteous name. Let thy kingdom come and thy will be done on the earth, as it is written in the heaven. Give us this day the understanding and hearts that ever incline to thy truth and righteousness. And forgive us our trespasses, and help us to forgive those of our brethren who may trespass against us. And leave us not during the times of temptation, but stand by us and deliver us from all the evils thereof. For thine is the kingdom of the heavens and the earth, and the power and the glory over them are thine forever and ever. Amen. 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 Attention. Hut. Original salute. Ready front. You may be seated. I want to say to you who I'm going to help you understand tomorrow why it was necessary for Allah to make both minds, the mind of the prophets and the mind of the devil. It was totally necessary. Remember, when he made the mind and put it in a vessel and made the devil, he told them, when they asked him about it, he said, I know what you know not. I understand things that you don't understand. Huh? You know, so if I don't remember to bring it up, then when I start teaching, you remind me if I don't get into it. But I don't think I'm going to need you to remind me. This is the day and time that which was hidden is being made manifest to you now. Why? Because that's the nature of light, is to make manifest. Huh? Well, the Spirit of God is now moving upon the face of the spiritual waters. And I have said, let there be light of understanding. That's what the book told you would happen. That darkness was upon the face of these deep scriptures here. But the Spirit of truth, God is the truth. The Spirit of truth, the mind of truth, moved upon the face of the waters of truth. And that mind have said, let there be light. And since we sent it down fully explained, the light was already shining there in darkness. It's just that the book could not talk to you and tell you where the light was at. But now the book can talk. Those whom we have given the book recognize him as they recognize their son. He is called Son of Man. And so this is that day. And it gives me great joy and pleasure to share with you what was shared with me. That's why you don't never hear me asking you for money to give you some teaching. If you want the teachings and you got a computer, go there and download it. You can study it all you want. It ain't cost you nothing. Huh? I'm not here to try to make money off of God's word. I warned everybody about that. The messenger warned people about that. The minute you start making money off of the word, then you stop being effective because you're more interested in what you can get out of the person than what you can put in them. You see, if you want a lot of wealth, if you want any country that wants its citizens to be well, then medicine must not be made into a business. Medicine should be something that the government makes sure that the best of its scientists can work in that field and not want for anything. A scientist, a doctor should have carte blanche, whatever he wants. Then you can demand that the wisest and the best be there. And then they can take care of your society. And the society should take care of them. That's right. He should drive the finest car, any kind of car he wants. If he wants 2 cars, if he wants 3 cars, I don't care. Give them to him. Give him a mansion. And give him a mansion in every state if you want it, so he can go from state to state teaching others. Take care of people that you want to take care of you. And when we all start trying to take care of one another, we'll find we have a healthy, peaceful society and a happy society. A peaceful society is a happy society. Some of us don't want that. We want something else. But if you don't learn to want what I want, you soon ain't going to be with me. I'm just telling all of you. That's just the way it goes. If you got another agenda, you don't belong here. Your agenda is supposed to be my agenda. My agenda is supposed to be your agenda. You said you was my follower. Then follow. Huh? If the Bible is in the Quran, if the scriptures are for instruction in righteousness, well, now you understand what a follower is. Follow my instructions. Is that right? That's pretty plain, ain't it? Yeah, we don't have to argue about that no more, huh? All right. So we are here to help every one of you master yourself. The greatest mastery we can have is over ourselves. And that, once you got that, that's peace. You'll never let it come out your mouth again that somebody made you do anything. Do you understand? And that's wonderful when people can manipulate you. Well, that's what you want. You want it to be your choice. And not someone who manipulated you into engineered you into a yes or a no or an action that you really found out wasn't in your best interest. Do you understand? Okay. So, now what? Any questions? Oh, the 33rd verse? Where it says in the 16th chapter of John, he said, "These things I have spoken unto you, that in me you might have peace. In the world you shall have tribulation, but be of good cheer. I have overcome the world." You see the fulfillment of that now. He it is who sent his messenger with the guidance and the religion of truth, that he may make it prevail or overcome the religions, all of them, though the polytheists may be averse. Ain't it nice to know that you now do have a choice between choosing righteousness or choosing unrighteousness instead of all these brands of religion. Huh? Ain't it nice to know that ain't but one religion? And you either want it or you don't. It ain't no more. You don't get the chance to say, well, it's all these religions. I don't know which one is right. You know which one is right now. I didn't hear you. And if anybody say that the religion I'm teaching is not right, come in here and introduce me to the religion that you got. And let's see if we can find it in these Holy Bible or the Holy Quran. Let's see if we can find your religion in there. I can find mine in there. In both books. The Holy Quran says that is because Allah, He is what? The truth. The Holy Bible says, and the Word was God. Sanctify them through thy truth, thy word. Then God is the truth. Both books say that. I didn't hear you. That's why they shut their mouth at me. No more trying to put one against the other. That ain't going to work. Nope. So if there are no questions, yes. Proverbs 18 and 21. It says, death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. What is that to say? They that love death will eat the fruit of death. They that love life will eat the fruit of life. The word of truth and the word of falsehood. Both of those words are in the power of the tongue. Do you understand? As the messenger said, truth is welcome among those who seek it. Right? So, I want you to any more questions? Well, if there are no more questions, then may Allah bless us and keep us safe. And then may wa alaikum Allah salam.
Yes, sir. I had a question. If you knew about the cyclone that killed hundreds in Mozambique on March the 20th.
No, I hadn't heard about. I ain't keeping up with who died.
Yes, sir.
All I know is I know what a cyclone is. I know what a cyclone is. It's called a cyclone because it's in that part of the earth. They call them hurricanes here. But that's same thing. But I tell you what, I told everybody to get themselves in these meetings. And I also told them that if you with me, when those calamities, when the sword come, when the terrible stuff happen, it'll pass over you. I warned them and I told them that. It ain't my fault because you ain't had sense enough to hear what I say and get behind me. It's your fault. You want death? Well, bye. You know. It's like I told people here. I don't have to stay here in Jefferson County. I can go wherever I want on this planet and be safe. If I make my bed in hell, Allah is right there with me. Now, who else can claim that one? No. I'm not. Okay. No, I don't need no. I don't. That wasn't no question I was asking y'all. But here you talk back. Mute your phone.
I love you, son of man.
I love you more.
I'll see you tomorrow.
May wa alaikum ala salam. So I want all of you to remember. Your silence bear me witness. You know, we ain't, you know, when I ask something like that, the only one I expect to hear from is somebody who think they can argue with what I just said. Silence tells me that you have no argument against it. I don't really want to hear about all them people dying. But I know this. If you want to plan and scheme to do evil in this day and time, you raise all these hell-raising children and they're disrespectful people. That's not the kind of people going to be on this earth. The earth wasn't designed for that kind of person. Bunch of self-righteous hypocrites. No. So you not gonna be here. And I don't care whose son or daughter you is. You know if I ain't picking and choosing, ain't no nepotism happening here. You don't believe it? You go to my children privately and ask them what some of the stuff I done told them. That the minute you turn on me, I'm through with you. You needn't think I'm worshiping you. I love you. I don't worship you. I love you as I love me. And if I don't love me more than I love Allah, I said my life and my death is all for Allah. I ain't telling them about this for you. And I don't care how in love with you I am. I can learn not to. Now that's the truth. Yes. The question was just asked, when we say our life and our death is all for Allah, in what way is it? It's in every way. When, for instance, as I live and Allah point out to me something that I'm doing that is not what he wants, then I immediately die to that. And I live the life that he wants me to live. That's what Paul meant when he said, I die daily. On the other hand, if my life physically is threatened, you better denounce Allah. You better stop being a Muslim. Well, you just well to kill me. Because I'm not going to denounce Allah, and I'm not going to hide, and I'm not going to stop being a Muslim. My physical life and my spiritual life is all for Allah. And if it means my death, if there's something inside of me that Allah wants to die, well, then I will kill it. And if he wants me to die, then I will do that too. Now that's that. Any more questions?
Yes, sir. You have a question from Mr. G1. And he asks, how can I get better at relating?
Keep coming into my class.
Sir, can I finish that question? He says, how can I get better at relating current events to the scripture?
You ain't got to relate. I just said it. Keep coming to my class. You ain't gonna never relate current events to the scripture. I'm the only one who can do that. Well, you think I didn't know what he was asking? All of you want to be doctors out there. Ain't but one doctor on this planet for the mind, for the soul, for the spirit. And that doctor is standing here talking to you. All the rest of you, and number, if you walk like a duck, he's a quack. I didn't hear you. If you want to listen to your own self, Solomon warned you. He said, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not to your own understanding. Do that sound like you can get understanding and relate from yourself current events to what's happening to the scriptures? What you asking me is, can you be a teacher besides me? My answer is no. We done all seen where that led. That led to Baptist, Methodist, Episcopalian, Seventh-day Adventist. Everybody want to be God. Well, no. I'm the Lord. Period. Now, any more questions? That's one thing I remember I brought this to your attention before, but people was talking to President Reagan, and they said, Mr. Reagan, so and so and such and so and so. And he'd answer their question. And another one said, Mr. Reagan, so and so and such and so and so. He'd answer their question. And they kept on saying, Mr. Reagan, Mr. Reagan, Mr. Reagan. And somebody said, Mr. President, and he stopped them right there. He said, I was starting to wonder if I was still the president. See how smoothly he corrected them? When he was standing up behind that podium, they forgot, but he didn't. As long as he was in his term of office, when you were questioning him, you was not questioning Mr. Reagan. You was questioning the president of the United States. And he was not speaking as an individual or as a private citizen. He was speaking as the head of the most powerful nation on this earth at the particular time. You know, if nothing else, I respected the fact that he respected that office that he was in. And when you compare him to this foolish man that's in that office now, there is no comparison. Any president of the past makes this man look like just what he is, the wrong man in the wrong position. How in the world can you get others to respect the office when you don't have respect for it? People used to come in here and try to refer to me as Marvin Muhammad. Marvin Muhammad ain't the one standing up here talking to you. The Son of Man is the one talking to you. Now, what if I had let them keep doing that? Then I would have been doing them a disservice. The messenger said, so one of the excuses that people would try to use was that if he had told us that he was that man, we would have believed him. And we wouldn't have been out here with the disbelief. But he didn't tell us. I did tell you. Even when you tried to get me to tell you that I'm something else. So you know, I'm the Son of Man. If you don't like it, tough. If you want to come in here and address me, you address me as Son of Man. So I'm going to let you go. May Allah bless us, keep us safe, and in our right minds. Oh, and by the way, I want all of you to know that if you believe in Allah, the last thing you have to worry about is Allah wanting you physically dead. The only death Allah wants you to die is die to the wicked mind that's in you and be reborn to the righteous mind. Because it's written, I am come that they might have life and that they might have it in more abundance. Do you understand? Job was willing to die if that's what Allah wanted. But Allah just let the devil afflict him and show him, saying, look, it's my servant here. He ain't never gonna curse me. Huh? And Job was there laid up on his deathbed with sores. He said, naked came I from my mother's womb, and naked shall I return thither. Said, the Lord giveth, and the Lord taketh away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Huh? What do you think? Allah don't know who he chose? You just don't know him. He'll curse you to you. What? You telling God he just don't know who he done chose. Ain't that something? And you see the audacity the devil got? Yeah. Okay. But anyway, so in the end, Job was restored and he had everything and more. He had twice as much as when the devil took it from him. See? So I don't want none of y'all entertaining thoughts of that Allah don't love you. If he didn't love you, he wouldn't have let you come to me. Now that's the first thing. No man can come to me or woman except the Father which hath sent me draw him. It's just like when people hate me, I know that they hated God first. Because if I had not spoken what I spoken from him, they wouldn't have hated me. Huh? On the other hand, if they love me, it's because they loved the word of God first. Because that's what attracted them to me. Do you understand? So, you know, that's just plain. You wouldn't have came to me if the truth had not attracted you. Even if you saw the deeds and the actions, the truth guided me to those deeds and actions that attracted your attention. Do you understand? And so I'm not finna cast nobody out that come to me. No. So as long as there's breath in me, in my body, I'm going to serve Allah. And I'm going to do all I can to help Allah's people. which is you. Are we clear? All right. Any more questions? Yes? No, ma'am. I didn't say the Lord is an acronym. No, ma'am.
I was wondering because you have lowercase.
No, Lord is not an acronym. Generally, when it's referring to the Lord Himself, it's always capitalized. But the prophets were lords too, and that's why I'm called the Lord of Lords. But no, it's not an acronym. Lord is just another word for head. The head of every man, the Lord of every man, same thing. Just as your head is the Lord over your body. So likewise, the Lord over your head, or the mind that's in you, is the Lord Himself, the Lord of Lords. You see. So, any more questions?
Thank you, Son of Man.
You're very welcome. So may Allah bless us all and keep us safe and in our right minds. May Allah's Salam Alaikum.